Welcome back, Divas. I am Carol Annette from Toby Nails, and I'm going to be showing you guys how to use this Marble Smoky Diva ink from Triple D. It came in the May Diva box, and I want to show you something that's really cool about these inks compared to others out on the market. These have a metallic finish to it. So if you look at the bottom of this bottle, it has silver at the bottom of it. So you just mix it up into your bottle and you're going to have like a nice metallic sheen on your nail when you're done using the ink. So I think that's a really cool feature about these Smoky Diva inks. But to get started, some of the supplies you're going to need is rubbing alcohol. I don't think it's 100% necessary, but it will help. A gel top coat. You're also going to want to have, obviously, your Smoky Diva ink and a gel brush like the one I have here. So I'm going to be doing this on a swatch stick, and I'm going to apply my gel top coat to the swatch stick. If you want color underneath your ink, obviously go ahead and use any gel polish, dip powder, or acrylic that you're wanting to use so that you can use the blue ink on top. So this is like a creamy neutral nude swatch stick, so I didn't feel like dipping it into white dip powder, but absolutely if you want to do your inks on top of white, dip your nail into white dip powder first. So I went ahead and cured that for 60 seconds, and I'm going ahead and grabbing my ink, and I'm just randomly drawing the ink on top of the gel top coat. So I really do like this because I can add as many layers as I want, and what I love about this whole like smoky watercolor thing is there's really no rhyme or reason to the way it has to look. I mean, you do want to be deliberate about where you're adding your lines, but it doesn't have to look perfect. So I'm taking my gel brush and I dunked it in rubbing alcohol, and I'm using the brush to help blur out the edges and the lines of where the ink got. And the reason I'm doing that is because I want the first layer, 2 layers to really be blurred and soft. Kind of think like just really nice. Like you don't want to see the harsh lines, you know? And then when I go in with more layers, those are going to be more defined, more precise, and darker. So here I am adding another layer. Since there is technically still rubbing alcohol on this swatch right here, it is helping the ink spread more. So if you want your ink to really spread, maybe add a little bit of rubbing alcohol on top before you put your ink. Obviously don't drench the nail, but a little bit will help it spread more than just going in one spot. And then any areas that you think are a little too harsh, blur those out with the brush and rubbing alcohol. Another thing that I really like about these inks is the more layers you add, the deeper and more intense the color is. So I do want certain areas to be more blurry and a lighter shade of blue, and then I am going to work on intensifying specific areas. So you'll notice that I'm adding new lines, and those are a lighter blue, but the lines that I've been adding the same ink on top of each other, those are more harsh, more deeper, and more vibrant than the other ones. So this is a side-by-side comparison of my first trial swatch versus the one I'm working on right now. You can tell that the one that I already completed, it looks deeper in the center, so that is my goal, is to add more deep tones to the center. So I feel like I did a pretty good job on the perimeter of the nail, but now I want to focus on the center and building more layers. But like I said earlier, there is really no right or wrong way to do this. I think you just add the layers until you're satisfied, in my opinion. I mean, I could be totally wrong. There could be a handbook out there telling you how to do this step by step, but I mean, you can even look at inspiration photos on Pinterest if you want, looking at watercolor nails or artwork to really find like the way that you want it to flow on your nail. So just do what you think looks best, and then don't be afraid to continue adding more or to blur out certain edges when you feel like the ink dried a little too harshly in that area. Because what I do want is like the perimeter not to be really harsh, but the center to have the depth and dimension. So I am really liking where this is going. I do think I need to blur out some more edges, and I swear I'm going to repeat it again. There is no right or wrong, so just keep going with what you find is appealing to your eye, what you think looks good, and keep working on it. So I'm just comparing it to the one on the right. So obviously the shape of these two swatches are different, so they're going to look very different, but also keep in mind that when you're doing this on your nail, it's always going to look different. Even if you do the same technique, it's not going to look identical or the same. They just never do. They never turn out the same no matter how much you try. So I'm just blending the top just very lightly and then adding more ink to the top, just focusing on the center like I mentioned before so that I can really make that contrast pop. So I feel like right now it's really coming together and I'm liking the way it's looking. Like I feel like I'm at the end zone, the final, almost there final look. So I'm really liking how the ink is settling and the edges are turning into a harsher blue, but the background that I worked so hard on blending out looks blended. So I hope that made sense. And now that I'm happy, I'm going to apply my gel top coat and cure it. So here it is, the trial swatch on the left and the one I did here on camera on the right. If you guys like this tutorial, definitely let me know in the comments below if you liked it. And if Triple D does come out with more of these smoky inks, what colors would you like to see? Let us know in the comments below.